Welcome back to First Impressions, where I'm going to be talking about new Nine Inch Nails album. I was blown away by this album, just completely blown away by this one, because I was not expecting it to be this good. My expectations were not very high, but they weren't the lowest, but they weren't very high. And a part of it was that I was misled by the first track, because I listened to it on YouTube when it came out, and I only got through the first track, and I said, this is going to be boring, normal Nine Inch Nails. I turned this off. That was a terrible mistake. Anyway, about a week ago, there was a huge sale at one of the stores I go to. Everything was 50% off, and I bought all the Management albums I didn't have, aside from the self-titled, including the new one. And I bought all the Fleet Foxes albums I didn't have, and I bought this because it came out to be like $5. And I popped that thing in and I listened to it. And it's a really short album. So I was, there's 30 minutes between the store and my house. I listened to the entire thing in that ride, and I was blown away by how good it was. Because, like I said, that first track, I thought it was going to be normal Nine Inch Nails, but when it gets into Ahead of Ourselves, and you start hearing those 90s electronica drums, which is probably not what they're called, but anytime anything is like, there's probably a name for that kind of beats, but I associate that with 90s electronica because that's where I heard it first. But yeah, as soon as you start to hear those 90s electronic beats, I knew this was something really different, really new in terms of what he's been doing lately. Because, I'll be honest, I listened to both of those Nine Inch Nails albums or EPs when they came out. I listened to Add Violence, I listened to, I'm blanking on what the name of the other one is. But I listened to them both, and I'll be honest, I don't remember anything about either of them. I remember that the first one, I think it was maybe Not the Actual Events. Was that it? I don't remember. That shows you about how much I know about them. The first one had a lot of instrumental stuff that reminded me of The Fragile, and I really, really liked that. And the second one I thought was just kind of normal Nine Inch Nails. I didn't get into it as much. But this one I've been listening to nonstop. I've been loving this album because it's got that 90s sort of electro, 90s cyber. It's got that kind of 90s cyber electronica sound to it, but also when you get into those instrumentals, Play the Goddamn Part is such a weird, cool instrumental. And then that goes into God Break Down the Door, which I swear sounds like some Black Star era David Bowie. You got the sax, you got the electronica, I actually, the first time I heard it, I actually didn't think Black Star, I thought Outside more, because I haven't listened to Black Star very much. But no, I thought Outside era Bowie, and, Outside is like my second favorite David Bowie album, and Black Star is like my third favorite, so, that's a really good thing. And all that great sax, fantastic. And then I'm Not From This World was great too, although actually it was really funny because I had that moment, that meme that everybody shares in all the music pages on Facebook, where it was like, ma'am, your car is fine, have you tried taking out the Radiohead CD? I had that moment with this album where there was some sort of weird noise in I'm Not From This World, and I, honest to God, thought it was the car breaking down or something, because I've had bad luck with cars lately. So this is fantastic. Over and Out is great too. Yeah, and it's really interesting because this is twice I've been really, really surprised this year, and both times it was by albums that are really, really short, because that new Kanye is shorter than this, and I was really surprised by the new Kanye. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. But no, I've got to get the rest of those Nine Inch Nails EPs and finally listen to them. And part of the reason I wasn't expecting much is that I'll be completely honest with you, and maybe this is what the second half of this video is going to be about. I didn't like Hesitation Marks very much at all. I remember I bought that in probably 2014 or 2015, a couple years after it came out. I was hyped to the moon for that. You know, I've been getting all the Nine Inch Nails albums up to that point, and that was the one that killed it. You know, I was just like, I don't like very much on this album. I don't think I've actually listened to it since 2015. Or maybe 2016. Yeah, I think I tried to listen to it a little bit in 2016, and it still was not really growing on me. I think it was kind of like, you know, I know a lot of older Nine Inch Nails fans kind of feel that way about With Teeth, you know. Waited so long for a new album, and then what you got wasn't quite what you wanted. That's kind of how I feel about this. But yeah, so far, the two of these albums that I actually remembered have been really good. Because like I said, that first EP was not amazing, but it had little bits that reminded me a lot of The Fragile. And The Fragile's my favorite Nine Inch Nails album. But this is fantastic. Mostly, well, actually, I won't say that. The first track isn't very good. I don't like the first track very much, because the first track is, again, just kind of normal Nine Inch Nails, and I think part of it with me is I think normal Nine Inch Nails is kind of played out, and I think he needs to branch out, and I think he needs to do different stuff if he's going to continue to make fantastic albums. And this is certainly a direction I would be interested in seeing him follow. Speaking of branching out, I also think that's why Year Zero is probably the best Nine Inch Nails album after The Fragiles, because it's a very dense, interesting concept, and he was forced to do other stuff with it. But yeah, so yeah, Bad Witch, great album, cannot recommend highly enough. Definitely check it out.